What were your thoughts of what you heard from Mercedes, and what did you think overall of her appearance last night?
I really, really enjoyed it. I was a little shocked that it happened first. But then I said, if you kind of think about it, most of these things go long. And if you have a whole show before it, then you have to rely on, um, the person speeding up their debut. I actually, was thinking about Sting's leaving was pretty damn perfect. And Mercedes' debut was great. And I just really thought it was, they made her like she is. She's special. She's been a proven draw when she was in WWE, a proven draw when she went to New Japan, got hurt, and now she's in AEW. And just the whole presentation, right? Presentation is everything. The music, nobody knew what it was, who this is coming out
Hmm.
until the CEO, and then we saw her name. Whoever made the CEO music, I would give them a bonus because it's now programmed. It's a chant. No matter what, they're going to respond. It's like when we were doing the yes, yes, yes. It's when you go to a game, we all know what we have to do, but it was a
Yeah.
perfect music. I get it that they say it a lot, but it's
But
too
that's how you get it embedded in your brain.
and we work for what? Reactions and responses. It's a natural reaction response. Brilliant for that. When I debut in AEW, can you call me the executive chair wrestler? EC dub, EC dub. That's what I want my music to be. Anyway, I thought the presentation was great. She looked like a star. And then her promo, she basically took us on her own personal journey and where she was to where she got there. And her kind of debut in the States. I'm a big fan of Sasha Banks, personally and professionally. Um, and I just really enjoyed it. That coming back to where your career starts and where you lived and all that stuff. It was the great, when she said it's great to be home, and she got it was, that building was really crowded. I heard there was a great walk up as well. And that overall presentation, they gave her over 16 minutes to basically tell her story. She took her time. I do feel like she got a little bit lost with emotion because how could you not? You're standing in the middle of the room where thousands of people are giving you love and admiration. It's a beautiful thing. I wish everybody in the world could experience something like that. That's what the beauty of pro wrestling. And yeah, you could be down, but then you could be up the next day. But that's also in life. And she took us on a bit of a ride. I loved it. I feel she needs to be treated as a star. And if you continue to do that, exactly what she put out there will be your return. I don't want to see her wrestle every week. I was a little surprised to see her come back later. Um, that's why I was just talking about placement. It still worked, but I would loved for that to been the first thing to see and then an extension the next time and advertise when she's going to be returning. Make her a big deal. We were talking about who's been presented as big deals. We had a whole discussion about it yesterday. CM Punk, MJF, once he won the title. Make her a big deal because she is. I know, like, because we were dealing with it. I know, like, when they announced her for New Japan, when tickets would surge. I mean, they had a hell of a house last night. And that was, again, based on the assumption she was going to be there. And I just thought it was a really, really great debut. I wish everyone could get a debut like that. It was money.
I think from everything that I heard, that the attendance last night was over 9,000. So they did have one hell of a walk up last night for the show, and that's great attendance, especially for AEW that has had a little bit of a lull attendance wise. That's a big number for them for a Dynamite, and I was glad to see like a full house to see Mercedes last night. I'm with you. I really liked the beginning of the show. and I wasn't too crazy about seeing Mercedes at the end of the show. We'll get into that a little bit later on. The execution of it was a little wonky too, but we'll get into that in just a bit. But let's talk about the beginning. I like the fact that they started out with Mercedes. I thought that was kind of like, it was kind of a la CM Punk, because they did the same thing when CM Punk came back in Chicago. Why wait for it? Let's just bring him out right now to start off the show. And man, that was a great moment, and it's probably one of the biggest moments in AEW history was when CM Punk came back to pro wrestling in Chicago. That pop from the crowd was insane. Mercedes in Boston, it was a really cool moment, and with all the great moments that Mercedes slash Sasha has had in her career, that may have been the biggest, Tommy, because how many times do you have a live microphone in the middle of the ring in your hometown? And that's exactly what Mercedes had last night. So how do you not get caught up? How do you not get emotional in that moment? And I think she did kind of get lost, which is perfectly fine. It's natural to be that way. And I rather have natural where you kind of get lost than have something that is scripted and planned. So I felt that was pure, true emotion from Mercedes last night in Boston.
Absolutely. And listen, when I say about her journey, I totally don't know if I had forgotten or if I ever even knew that she was the first ever female main event in that building. And even the way she phrased it was just like, perfect. That's the old, like what Mick Foley would, shout out to the town. But it's factual that she did that, which, listen, there's certain towns, a lot of towns, but Boston is very, very, we love our Bostonians, and she will be forever ingrained in that town. We're going to the ECW arena. That's my town. That's my building, and I'm super proud of it. So what I'm saying is I get recognized there no matter like what. And again, I want my ashes to be sprayed over there when I die. With her, she did amazing business last night, and I feel that continued business. And I guess like exactly what you said, that saying, you can always go home, and she was there in that building, and it was awesome. It was an awesome piece. And how could you not, Dave? Like, listen, you got into the Hall of Fame. It's a big thing, right? And and when Mark Henry showed up, I saw you. You were like taken back because you're
Yeah.
like, I can't believe he did this. Like, this is so nice of him. And think if 9,000 people were doing that for you. It's an awesome, awesome feeling. And I feel the best is yet to come for her. And, she kind of gave a little bit of her statement. She wants to work with everybody. And why not? And she does. She loves wrestling. She studied wrestling. And she's finally back after, I mean, think about, she departed. She went to New Japan. And then all the rumors that she was going back to WWE, and now she's here in AEW. Uh, Trinity, Naomi left, went to TNA, did amazing business for TNA, and now she's back in WWE. I mean, what a great ride for her as well. And love that Bailey and Trinity both kind of were there supporting her
Yep.
behind the
And Tamina,
scenes.
I believe. Tamina was there, I believe,
Yep.
as well.
Tamina was also when Trinity debuted in TNA. She was there too. It's cool to see that. It's cool. This business is about making moments, and then in life, when you can say I have these people that supported me and are there for me throughout, I think it's a beautiful thing. And this business gave her those friends. They all bonded on it. So it's
And also,
really cool.
it is cool. And it's also, you have to throw this out when it comes to her as well, is that, she was a big star in the WWE as Sasha Banks. She wasn't happy. She stepped away. We talk about that with Cody, about being unhappy and stepping away. Now, the success that Sasha Banks had, much bigger than what Cody had in the WWE. I mean, Sasha was a main eventer in the WWE, but wasn't happy, bet on herself, stepped away, went to New Japan to kind of get that respect and credibility put on her name, right? To go to Japan. She got injured, comes back from injury, now goes to AEW. It is a situation where, Tommy, you got to give her credit. That's taking a big jump and taking a big chance because you don't know if you're ever going to get to that point again. And I thought the biggest thing of what she said last night was, hey, thank you for sticking with me and by my side for the last 2 years. Because, Tommy, if you look at the last 2 years, those have not been easy for her. Leaving the WWE, going to New Japan, first having to wait it out and then going to New Japan and then getting injured and now coming back. It's been a tough 2 years for her. And the one thing that I took out of that promo to start off Dynamite last night was her thanking the fans for sticking by her side for 2 years and a name change as well, Tom, because it's not Sasha Banks, it's Mercedes Moné. So, that I really felt, and you can hear and feel the emotion from her when she said that.
Of course, because I mean, this is all happening in real time. She's also great on her social media about different stuff. Um, and that journey, I mean, listen, there's two sides about it. Once you get hurt, you're like, oh crap, what next? We had a whole master's class about getting injured. And then, that type of injury, could that affect me in the ring? All that stuff. You're gonna, the rehab, but then rehabbing to live a normal life is one thing. Having to get back as a pro wrestler is a completely different situation, and how you're gonna adapt in ring wise, all that stuff. But then it's also like, now I have to go get a job. And I mean, think free agency just happening in football. This person got hurt. Do we still want to sign her? Of course we want to sign her, blah, blah, blah. But what is her value? What is her worth when
Yeah.
somebody is injured? Could this person come back? Well, that's a wait and see. I do think it's going to be there's some great potential matchups. And if I'm looking at AEW on what's their biggest show, it's going to be Wembley. You just got another player. And if I'm also AEW, I do a master, what we do in Forbidden Door here in the States, I bring AEW to Japan and do a master show over there as well. Because you have so many talents that were draws over there as well. And I feel it's big money for them as well.